And how was it, because coming from an African background, how was it for you to take that step in terms of the support from the community? Because that's not really something that from, within the community, we don't really pay much attention to. We do work here in community, but from a community perspective, you setting up something where you're addressing these issues, again, going into children protection and our own heritage in terms of discipline and stuff like that. How was it perceived from people?
It wasn't easy. I have to tell you that it wasn't easy. So, I mean, of course, once we started, new issues started to come to the fore, like trafficking, like female genital mutilation. I never heard of female genital mutilation until I started AFRUCA. I didn't even know what it meant, right? So, when I read up about it, I'm like, people do that? And I was even more horrified to find out that it happens in Nigeria. Because I'm like, I grew up in Nigeria. I never heard of it. I even went to an all-girls secondary school, right? So the issue now is, how do we reach out into the community? And to be honest with you, I think it was 50-50. There were people who right from the outset really bought into the agenda that, look, we need to be doing more. Because, I know I went to my friend's house yesterday. Do you know that they had a house girl in the house here in London? Or, my friend's children, they're in foster care. So there were lots of issues. So lots of people bought into it.
Yeah.
At the same time, there were people who I felt did not understand the mission. They thought it was trying to portray a negative image of Africans. And to be honest with you, we used to got people calling our office to abuse us.
Wow.
In my early days of AFRUCA, because they're like, why are you washing our dirty linen in public? Well, yeah, but children are being abused here, and we have to do something about it. So if that means that your dirty linen are being washed in public, so be it. so we faced all those barriers, but at the same time, there was a lot of encouragement and support. And I can say that even though it's been 23 years, I still remember some people who were supportive of AFRUCA in those very, very early days, who are still in support of AFRUCA even up till now.
Yeah.
So, it's been a long road, but certainly, there have been people who have been with us since day one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. Prior to setting up, creating this charity, what was it that you did?
Yeah, I was a civil servant.
Oh, okay. That's good.
So when I graduated from university in Nigeria, and I was born in the UK, but I grew up in Nigeria, so I returned to the UK. In 1990, I went straight into the civil service. And I worked in the civil service, different government departments. I worked in the Department for the Environment. I worked at the Cabinet Office. And then I worked at Department of Trade and Industry. And I was there when I set up AFRUCA. And I was working in small business policy. So, and for me, the issue is, how are you going to jump from small business policy to working in the charity sector? But actually, there were lots of similarities in relation to how to build a successful business. And a charity is a business. And so right from the outset, it really helped me, because right from the outset, my aim was to make AFRUCA a successful charity. Of course, it's one thing to aim, and the reality can be different because there's so many external circumstances. But essentially, I had a background from being a civil servant for many years before setting up the charity.
So you would say the business background kind of helped as well?
Yeah.
Working.
Yeah, the working as a civil servant, initially, but also working my last policy job in small business policy really helped me.